Good morning, everybody. It's a gorgeous Tuesday morning here in New Zealand, and I've just been out in the garden. Ash is home for a couple of days this week, so the garden's looking amazing out there, and it's such a beautiful day. So welcome to today's workshop. It's called Sticking Together. So it's lovely to see you all, and I thought I'd just share this technique. Now, I've been doing this for quite a few years, but I've just changed it slightly for today's workshop, so I thought it'd be a little bit of fun. And I'll show you some alternatives. I'll tell you about some alternatives if you can't get the loofah. So good morning, everybody. It's lovely to see you all this morning. I've just got a few things here I needed to show you. So first of all, I went down and I've got my pieces of timber. These are always handy to have, just tucked aside, so that when you decide you want to do something. Good morning, everyone, or morena, everybody. So this is just what I always have slices of timber somewhere. But today I've actually got a board here just so that when I drill, I won't go through. Now, Fred was going to do this yesterday, but he had gardening to do, so I'm sorry about that. So I thought I'd show you. So first of all, you get your piece of timber. And this is quite a contemporary piece, and I'll talk a little bit about contemporary designing. Good morning, everybody. It's lovely to see you. So what I've got here is the drill, and I'm just putting in a drill piece. And with this here, I've gone to a piece of dowel, but you can use any straight stick, but I like dowel because it's nice and strong. And I've gone to the same diameter as what the drill bit is. And I'm going to just put in here, I'm going to go into the timber, and then I'm going to angle it. Pull it out as you go, and that gets rid of all the bits off the drill. When it's soft timber, it'll stick to the drill, so you need to just make sure you clean it as you go. And now I'm going to do another hole, so go straight down and then put it on an angle. This gives it a chance to actually bite in. You pull it out as you go and get rid of some of that bits of timber. Fred taught me really well. Just saying. So anyway, I'm going to put that there. So I've got my two holes there. Then I've got my piece of dowel. I've just moved the drill to the side. I've got my piece of dowel. Hi, everybody. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Jenny. So I've got my bit of dowel, and I wanted you to have one little bit longer and one side shorter. So this should be a metre, hopefully. Oh, it's 90. So if we go to, say, 40, and you cut at 40 centimetres, and I'll just get my strong cutters, cut it at 40 centimetres, and make sure you cut it on a slight angle, like so. Now what you can do with this is you can get nugget, but if you want the same colour as your timber, get some nugget, shoe polish, and you just polish it up with the shoe polish and the brown. Don't make it too thick, but it just tones down the blurry white, because sometimes it can be quite strong. So it's so dominant, I should say. We don't want to see the sticks sticking out too much. So I've pre-done some of those. I've got a couple of pre-done sticks here, and all I'm going to do is just pop them in here like this, and see how they're just on a bit of an angle. One slightly shorter. Actually, I might put that one up the other way, like this. So I'm going to do. It's like a television. You remember the old antennas? No, I'm not going to go there. I'm being serious this morning. So anyway, so we're going to put this to the side now. So pop that to the side. And then I've got a whole lot of loofah. There's all my loofahs. And what I've got here is I have got a sharp knife somewhere. Where did I put my sharp knife? There we go. And with loofah, I find if it's serrated, it actually bites in a little bit better. Oh, hello to Northern Ireland. Lovely to see you all in England and everybody around. It's lovely to see you all. So then all you do is you get your loofah. How did I come about this? You know, when you're having a bath and you're doing your feet, you sort of think, that's plant material. What could I do with it? Well, I do a lot with them. So anyway, we're going to cut them into slices. And that's why I've got the chopping board here. So cut them in lots and lots of slices. Now, I'm not going to do the whole lot here in front of you. And then you might have to cut some of them, cut some of the fibres, just give it a bit of a cut. And I've pre-done a whole container, or if they're soft enough, you can just cut them with your scissors. But the real heavy one, the A-grade ones, are really, really tough, so you'll definitely need to use a knife for those. So I've pre-done some because I didn't want you to have to watch me do all of that. So I've got a whole lot of pre-done of the loofah. So a bit of a clean off there. So how are you all out there? I hope you're it. I mean, I've been out in the garden, we're changing all the gardens around, and I said to Ashley, oh, I've got a group coming through. I have groups that come to our garden. I've got a group coming through on Thursday afternoon. So replanting and doing all sorts of things. So I'll take you for another walk, and this time I'll make sure that the phone is charged. So just get a whole lot of your bits of loofah. I like to sort of put them in little piles. I want to cut the smaller ones out the end. I'm just going to do a real small piece to show you. Now, if you haven't got loofah, I have done this by slicing up Banksia, because they actually snag into each other, and you can make some lovely framework with those and gluing them together. They look beautiful in big framework. So slicing all the Banksias up. Another thing that you can use is gluing a whole lot of dried lotus pods together and getting the shape. And if you really want to have a bit more movement, when you glue them together, put them over something so that as they're gluing together, they get that lovely rhythm and line going through them with the lotus pods. So there's lots and lots of things that you can use for this. Well, I find that the dried fruit goes a bit tacky, so I don't like to use dried fruit really, but anything that you can slice up that's going to hold, do this with. So I'll just put this here. So over here I've got my glue gun, and I always, when I'm doing this, make sure I have a glass of cold water. No, not to drink, but when you burn your fingers, it's handy to have some cold water nearby. So, right, now what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to, oh, did I turn the glue gun on? Oh my goodness, I haven't turned the glue gun on. Well, that was very intelligent, Francine, wasn't it? Okay, so we'll have to come up with another plan because it takes too long to glue together. So I'll just wait for a minute till that sort of gets sorted. I might even use a couple of glue dashes to get started actually. So well, it's just heating. I've been out in the garden with Ash this morning, and you kind of get out of your rhythm. Good morning to North Wales, lovely to see you. So I'm just using glue dashes here just till the glue gun heats up. So for those that don't know what these are the Magic Oasis U-Glue dashes, and I always have a box handy because I use them for absolutely everything. So they're really, really good. So I'm just going to put a glue dash on there. And I will seal this up again a bit later on, stick them together with the glue gun, just to show you. So what we do is we hot glue them all together into big framework. So I'll just do a couple more. Is that heating up now? Oh yes. It's what happens when you get distracted, you know. I was out in the garden, picking the flowers, talking to Ashley. I said I need to get some more plants. I'm splitting a lot of plants up at the moment. So I'm just putting a couple of these U-Glue dashes on. I'm doing 2 on this one because I want to make 2 points of connection. These will actually hold anyway if you haven't got the glue. If you've got the glue, see, they just stick together. But you will need to glue the Banksias. Sometimes if you find on the Banksias when you slice them, they don't want to take the glue gun, I will actually make an emulsion up of the clear wood PVA glue, and I use the wood PVA glue and just get the mat how I want it to all interlock, and then just dip it into the PVA glue, and then when I solution, which is normally 1 part PVA glue, 2 parts water, so it's really, really runny, and dip the whole frame into that, then take it out and let it dry, and it dries clear, and it makes a wonderful structure with the Banksias. So I'll just put a few more of these on here. Just see if that glue gun's nearly there. By the time it's done, I would have been finished this, but anyway, stick it all together. So just using the dashes, but at the moment, I'll get another one here. So I hope you're all going great. I've been getting some beautiful photos coming through from the work that you're doing out there. It's just so wonderful to see, and I hope that the reception's a little bit better today. We've had trouble when it's wet up here or wild weather, the reception's not that good. So if you are getting good reception, if you'd let me know, that would be wonderful. So again, just a couple more together like so. Is this nearly done? I'm just going to try this and see if it's going to work. Oh yes, there we go. So put your hot glue in there and then just stick it. And I do 2 points of contact. So I want it to connect here and here. So I put 2 little dollops of glue and then just stick them together. A couple more. And you can make these frames to do all kinds of things, but it's a neat mechanic. Like I said, I've been doing this for quite a few years, but I always use it in different ways. Some people you've seen have been doing this in the past, and it's just such a cool technique. And have a look at the other plant material that you've got. Another thing you could use is, if you haven't got any of these things, if you use the dried proteas, when you pull the centre out and you've got that nice centre, the wood rose, you can use those and glue them all together. But just make sure that when you do it, you have got enough room to be able to put test tubes in. That's why I like using the loofah. See, you can make some really interesting shapes. So I'm just going to let that dry, that one, for the moment. Cool down. I'm just going to turn off my glue gun, so just bear with me. I'm just going to turn it off. Okay, turn that off. We've had a bit of a change around in here, so I'm just trying to get used to it. So then we bring back our base that we made, as stunning as it is. And this is the neat bit. Now what you do is you get your pieces. Now these are some pieces I made before, some nice big pieces. And what we're going to do is I'm going to turn that around, and I want it to go this way. We're going to slide one side on, and then you just thread it through, and make sure, you might need a bit of paper coated wire just to hold it in place. So I want to go that way. Maybe I might try a different way. Just try maybe, but no, definitely want it to go that way. I have great conversations to myself. This is the beauty, just thread it on, but make sure when you thread it on, you give yourself a bit of rhythm. Pop that in through the gaps. Now, in order to get it to stay in place, once I'm happy with where it's sitting, I will use the paper coated wire just to really secure it. I'm going to take that one right down, give me a nice bit of rhythm. Then I'm just going to paper tie that on with the paper coated wire, just to give it extra, and making sure it's really going to hold it, it's not going to slip. So twist that around. Take that one there. This is a very contemporary piece, and with contemporary designing, I think, don't forget that if you're doing contemporary, you don't want to lose the lovely structure that you've made by covering it up with absolutely everything, and try not to get your traditional designing confused with your contemporary work. Contemporary should be quite minimal with what plant material you use into it, because you want to show the mechanic, but you also want to show the design. The mechanic is part of the design. So I'm just securing that now with the paper coated wire. It won't slip. So I've made another piece that I want to put over the top. That one in there like so. Again, threading through the gap. And the best thing is go through where the loofah is. Don't try and go where you glued in between the where you've glued the loofah together, because if you do that, what will happen is you're putting too much stress on it, and it will actually it might fall apart. So it pays to actually go through the loofah. It's a stronger point, so go through that to tie it. I'm just going to tie these ones on as well, make sure that really holds, and this will just give it a bit more strength. Twisting it around to securing it. Doing this one here. What else did you want to do with your loofah? Don't just have a bath with a loofah, I tell you. You sort of start thinking, I could do this, this and this and this. Or that. I'll go around here and just slide this last piece on. I want to come down a little bit more. That's it. And this is going to take my eye around the design, giving it a bit of height, giving it some rhythm. And you turn it around like so. It's a little bit funky, so it makes my eye go right around that design. Now it comes time to put the test tubes in. I've already put a couple in. I might just lift that one up just a little bit, maybe drop that down just a fraction if it'll go. Just get a little bit more space in between. So I've got a couple of test tubes. So what I do is with the test tubes, is this again is where I use the U-glue dashes. And I stretch it and I pull it around the tube like that, so it's really, really sticky. And then I always put a little piece of wire on if I'm worried that it's going to slip again. Go around that as well. Just one tie will be enough. And you've still got that exposed U-glue dash. So when you pop it into your mechanic, you slide it in, and then you can just make a couple little hooks so it won't fall off. It's just making sure it's nice and secure in there. So that's just putting your tubes in here. Take that one around in there. Get another one, and don't put too many on, because this has got to be quite light and quite delicate, so don't get too heavy-handed with your placements. Again, go between the loofah and not between where you glue. a couple more in through here. And where I'm placing these is I'm placing them as I'm visualising where I'm putting the flowers. I want the flowers to move and come down and link into the design. So I'm going to put another one here, again going through the loofah. And find where I want to put that one. Put that one in there, I think. And you can sit right up against the stand. Starting to look about how I want them to go. Got another one here that I've actually even put a glue dash on in there. So if you don't have to use the paper coated wire, if you feel they're secure enough, that those U-glues are so jolly strong, it'll hold beautifully. Another couple around here. A little bit more. Put them right at the top. Yeah. Maybe. And a few more there. Another one there. So I hope you all enjoying this. It's just something a little bit different. Hello to South Africa. Lovely to see you, Anne. And Mississippi, nice to see you, Diane. Is it Diane? There's Diane. Donna. I'm having trouble reading with my glasses this morning. So move that one down. Put another one in through there. So taking it around. And this little one that I made, if you wanted to, you could always put that down on the bottom here. Might just see what that, if I like that. Put that right down on the bottom just to take my eye around even more. Might pull that off. Take that a bit better. Take my eye down. Okay, that's a bit better. Right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start thinking about the flowers now. So I've got my test tube filler. This is where if you haven't got one of these, make sure you get one. It just saves all the hassle of trying to fill your test tubes. Put a couple of those on there. Another one in through there. Fill them up. Another one in there. And through there. Right, so now I've got those with water in them. Okay, now I'm going to just have a look at flowers. Now, I went around the garden this morning and my elfins are just taking a little bit of time coming away, so I've got a few of those, but I said callus, but I also said anything that you wanted to use. So I had some of the lovely Helleborus that I treated yesterday with the quick dip, so I may use those. I rather like those, so I might use those. And for elongated leaves, I'm using the leaves of the elfin lily. But you can use Aspidistra, Philodendron Xanadu, anything that's elongated you can use. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put my leaves in first to get the line that I want. And then I'm just going to manipulate it just with my hand softly so I can get that to come in. Put that one in there, and then I'll put that one up in through there. Let that dry a little bit, sit that one in through there. Okay, and I'll give it a friend. Got that friend, he's getting pretty lonely on his own, so I'm going to give him one up the top here. I want that one to come down, bring my eye through. Put that one in through there. Now, I might use glue dashes if I'm not happy with the way that they're sitting, but at the moment I'm just putting them where I think that they should go. Just put that one, pull that through there, that'll come through. And it's just getting them placed where you want them to go, making sure that you're happy. Right, if I turn that around, got a couple of the leaves coming in through there. And then on the top here, I'm just going to just manipulate these just a little bit to give them a little bit more rhythm rather than sitting flat. One can come up through there. Right, that's taking my eye around now. It's following that line. Another one. Up through the top there, I'm not sure. Have a think about it. Thinking. Now I did have the elfins, which are great to be able to give that rhythm that you want. And you take a couple of those over. Put it over there, take your eye over. Again, just following that line and not getting too carried away with your plant material. Or your fresh plant material, because your mechanic is your framework. So there's a little bit of that one around. Just pull that little edge off. If you pull the edge off, it'll go where you want it to go a little bit better. around, taking it around there, taking our eye down. I'll do one more, I've got a little one here. I link these two placements now, so I can take one in here and take it around so it links in through there. Taking my eye through the design, linking them together. They're very, very contemporary piece, but I just thought, no, I love doing these loofah designs, and I thought what an ideal time to show you. Just going to cut that a little bit shorter. I'm going to put a little bit of pink in here now, taking a little bit of a placement from here through. A little bit of the pink Hellebores. I don't want to hide that stick, so I'm just going to pull that flower very, very gently in front of it. That's better. It's one of those lovely little Hellebores. But we do need unity, so we're going to put in a few more. Otherwise they think, well, what are you doing, Francine? It doesn't go together. So we need to bring a bit of unity. Now you will need to use a little bit of paper coated wire to hold these where you want them to go. So I'm just going to put a little bit of wire in through here, and it'll disappear. The natural paper coated wire, when you're using the loofah, will disappear into your design. So that's the beauty of it. Always keep some on hand. I'll take that one down in through there as well. Tie that on. Now that water's coming up, but if you're worried about that, you can put, I showed you the other day about putting just a little bit of floral foam in there, and that'll stop it from the water from spilling out. Put that one in through there. Put it in there. I have great conversations, so just ignore me while I'm having a little conversation to myself, going, yes, I do like that. Yes, that's good. Keep going. Right, I'll put here another little one in here, just keep that one company. Through there, putting my eye back up, and up in here, getting unity of colour. Put that in here. Do I like that? It's too heavy, so I'm going to take one of those off. Again, keeping it quite delicate, moving it around. I'll just show you in half a tick. Got to make sure I'm happy with it, you know, because this is something a little bit different for you to see. So there we've got our eye coming down, bringing the colour through, something quite different. I'm not happy at the moment because if you look, I've got contemporary placements, so they're equal placements. That's not good for modern work. So I'm going to pull that one out, and now that looks a little bit better. It's not going dot, but I'm going to strengthen the placement up here. I'll put another one back up in there, and it'll just strengthen that placement. Taking it through, and then just to bring another little bit. Do I want to put any more in that? Think about putting a little bit more in there. And I've got a bigger test tube. I'm going to try that, see if I'm happy with that actually. Just hold that a little bit better. I want it to be. Got to have a bit of a fiddle when you're doing these. Pop that one in there. That there. That's better. Right, a little bit more paper coated wire just to secure this one at the top. Pop it in through there. Up and through there. In here, in there, and a little conversation. Yes, I'm happy with that. Pulling that through. There up a little bit. That's it. That one's, yeah, that's better. That's better. Much happier. And because I've taken the white into the back and tied that down a little bit more, it's given a little bit of gradation to the design, so it's not just sticking straight in your face, because you don't want it to, it's good to have a bit of colour in behind. It gives depth to the design rather than it all being in the top. And I'm just going to tie this one into place as well. I could use a U-glue dash, but I'm just going to use a paper coated wire. Put that there. Tuck that one in. Taking my eye around like so. And it's just a really simplistic design. Once you've actually made the framework, you can do a lot with this technique. And now I've got this little one down in the bottom here. I'm thinking I might need to take a little bit more rhythm around. So rather than using this, I did say to use a little bit of vine. So I've got here some of the clematis. And when I picked this, I looked, it had the same bits of colour as the loofah. It's got the same colour as the Hellebores. So it'll give nice rhythm to take around to give the design a bit of depth. I need to fill that up with water. And I'm going to take that right round. And I'm going to put that up in there like so. That rhythm. A little bit coming through. Just pull this round this way. Come here, pop. That's it. And a bit of rhythm coming through, that little bit of vine taking that lovely whimsical look through. And then I might just put one more piece of ink. I'm not sure, I'll have a bit, see if I like it. And that's getting a nice reflection coming back through there, giving good third dimension to your design. A little bit more just down the bottom here as well. That is just in there like so. And that's just showing you that design. So that's something very, very different today. And I hope you're enjoying that and I'd like to have a go at that. But if you haven't got the loofah, do try slicing up Banksias or gluing together a whole lot of the dried lotus pods. There's plenty of other options out there that you could do. But this is just showing a very contemporary piece using the loofah. And always think about your placements, that when you place, you don't have equal placements like you do in traditional, is more equal placements. Whereas contemporary, we tend to group a lot more and have line. Think of it like a ballet. Traditional work is like ta-da-da-da-da-da. Jazz is really out there, follow the beat, it's quite out there, and that's how you get good rhythm in your design. So, and following the schedule, if it's a contemporary piece or whether it's traditional. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, and I'm going to see you all again on Thursday. I've got a couple of other nice designs I want to show you. This time I'm going to be using bark that I've found off a couple of logs, so that'll be Thursday's workshop. Have an awesome day, everybody. Take care, and we'll keep in touch. See you again soon. Bye.